Problem 4. After a train departed from its starting point for 1 hour, it stopped unexpectedly for 0.5 of an hour, so 30 minutes, because of unknown reasons. After that, it continued going at 3/4 of its original speed and was late 1.5 of an hour at its destination. If the train departed from its starting point for 1 hour and 91 kilometers before stopping for 0.5 of an hour, and then continuing again at 3/4 of its original speed, it will be 1 hour late at its destination. What is the total distance from the starting point to ending point of the journey? First, we have to make a sketch, right? So there's always the 2 points, the starting point and their destination. And then down here, we only have one moving thing, which is the train. But here we are given 2 scenarios. So we can rate each of those 2 different scenarios down here. So that might be the first thing that you think, but there's actually 3 scenarios here. And what's the third scenario? Well, the third scenario is if it didn't stop, right? If the train just went the entire journey at its original speed. Because it keeps comparing each of these 2 scenarios to the original, to if everything had gone with plan. It keeps saying of its original speed, right? Or unexpectedly. So this would be what was expected. So I'll call this scenario number 1. Now we have scenario number 2. Scenario number 2 is after leaving the starting point for 1 hour. 1 hour. It stopped right here for 30 minutes. And then continued. And it continued at 3/4. Maybe I should actually dot this to show that it was slowed down. 3/4 of its original speed and reached the destination. But it was late 1.5 of an hour. So we can write late 1.5 of an hour. And finally, we have our third scenario, which is after leaving the starting point for 1 hour, and then went 90 more kilometers, stopped for 30 minutes, and then kept going at 3/4 of its original speed, and if it goes like this, it was late 1 hour, so a bit faster than the second scenario. So what is the total distance from its starting point to its ending point? We have many different 3 different scenarios here, so we can start by comparing them. Why don't we first start by comparing the amount from here to here of 1 and 2. So the time took for 1 compared to the time took for 2 is equal to 3 to 4 in this section. Why? Well, here we know that the velocity of number 2 compared to number 1 was 3 to 4. And so because number 1 is faster in this section, means that it's flipped around, so it's 3 to 4. It takes less time because it is faster. So here we know that one is 3 units and the other is 4 units. But we also know that their difference is this 1 hour over here. So we know that this corresponds to 3 hours and this corresponds to 4 hours. Okay, so it took entire 4 hours and this took entirely 3 hours. Now let's compare 2 and 3 because that seems, so from here and here, because this now we can include this an extra 90 kilometers now. So the time of 2 compared to the time of scenario 3 is 90 to 115. 4 to 3, which corresponds to 2 hours, 2 hours to 1.5 of an hour. So then what would the train speed be? Well, that would be this 90 kilometers right here divided by 115, which is equal to 60. And because we know 60 kilometers per hour, and because we know that this total distance, what this entire original scenario 1 was supposed to take 4 hours only. 4 times 60 is equal to 240. So our final answer is 240 kilometers.